Have you ever noticed how heart attacks don't wait for warnings? They don't knock politely. They arrive sudden, brutal, and far too often in the early hours of the morning, when everything still feels quiet, safe, ordinary. I've seen it again and again, and every time it starts with someone who thought they were fine. Mr. Anderson was 67, retired math teacher, walked 2 miles every Sunday, smiled at everyone. He came into my clinic last year with nothing more than, "Doc, I've just been feeling a little tired lately." His EKG normal, blood pressure, slightly elevated, but nothing dramatic. I told him we'd keep an eye on it. 1 week later, 6:40 a.m., his wife found him collapsed on the bathroom floor. Gone. Just like that. I wish I could tell you that story was rare. But it's not. I'm Dr. Johnny, and I've spent over 4 decades treating hearts that never saw it coming, not because they weren't strong, but because their owners didn't know how silently damage builds. Not overnight, not from one bad day, but from years of tiny habits, overlooked, repeated, and deeply underestimated. And after 60, the margin for error shrinks fast. Your heart can still fight, but only if you stop fighting it. The good news, you don't need surgery. You don't need pills. You need small, consistent changes, choices that work with your heart, not against it. And today, I'm going to show you 8 of the most powerful morning habits I teach my own patients. The ones that don't just add years to your life, but life to your years. We'll count down from number 8, all the way to number 1. The most important habit I believe every person over 60 should start before they even sip their morning coffee. Especially if you've never thought of yourself as someone with heart problems. Because the people who end up in the ER usually didn't either. But first we begin with something so simple, so ordinary, it's often ignored. Yet it's the habit that can literally change how your heart starts every single day. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but drinking a glass of water before anything else could be the single most overlooked heart-saving habit in your entire routine. Here's why. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. And dehydration isn't just about dry skin or thirst, it thickens your blood. That means your heart has to push harder, your vessels tighten, and your risk of clotting silently increases, especially between 6 and 11 a.m., the exact window when most heart attacks happen in people over 60. I've seen patients who walked every day, ate all the right foods, took their medications but skipped hydration. One man, 72, collapsed just after brushing his teeth. No warning. Just years of thick, stressed blood, pushing against tired arteries. That's why I tell every patient before you scroll your phone, before your coffee hits your lips, drink 8 to 12 ounces of room temperature water. Not cold water can constrict blood vessels when they're already vulnerable. Want a boost? Add a slice of lemon. It supports digestion and helps balance your body's pH. This takes less than a minute, costs nothing, but it gives your heart an early advantage, a signal that today, you're choosing to help it carry the weight of your life a little easier. Leave a glass by your nightstand tonight. And tomorrow, drink it like your heart has been waiting all night for that first act of care, because it has. And while hydration starts your morning strong, there's something even more powerful you can do right after. Something that wakes up not just your muscles, but your entire cardiovascular system. If I could write just one prescription for every person over 60, it wouldn't be a pill. It would be a 20-minute morning walk. You don't need a gym. You don't need gear. What you need is movement, simple, rhythmic, honest movement to remind your heart it's still alive and still capable of strength. After a full night of stillness, your blood flow slows, your vessels tighten, your heart wakes up under pressure. But walking, especially in the soft light of morning, activates your circulation like flipping a switch. It gently lowers blood pressure, boosts oxygen delivery, and increases nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes your arteries and keeps your blood moving smoothly. And the sunlight. That's not just poetic. It triggers vitamin D production, crucial for your heart's muscle fibers and your immune system. Morning light also resets your circadian rhythm, helping you sleep deeper that night. And believe me, better sleep means a calmer heart. I remember Margaret, 74. She'd been battling borderline hypertension and restless nights for years. We didn't change her meds. We gave her a habit, a 15-minute walk right after sunrise. Within 3 weeks, her numbers leveled out. Her energy returned. And one day she told me, I feel like myself again. Start small. 10 minutes is enough. Comfortable shoes. Breathe deeply. No phone. No podcast, just you and your heart. Walking in step again. Let it become your quiet ritual, not a chore. Because sometimes healing doesn't come from force, it comes from rhythm. And speaking of rhythm, your heart thrives on it, especially when that rhythm is supported by the right kind of fuel, not in the form of medications, but something you can hold in the palm of your hand. It may look small, but a handful of nuts or seeds can fight harder for your heart than most things in your kitchen. Think of it as natural medicine, but tastier. In just 1 ounce, you're giving your heart a cocktail of omega-3s, magnesium, potassium, fiber, and plant-based antioxidants. And the best part, no side effects. Just decades of science-backed protection. Walnuts help reduce inflammation and lower LDL. That's the bad cholesterol that quietly clogs your arteries. Almonds improve blood sugar control and reduce belly fat, which means less pressure on your heart. Chia and flax seeds are rich in ALA omega-3s known to improve vascular function and prevent dangerous arrhythmias. One of my patients, James, 69, used to crash every afternoon. Foggy brain, tight chest, zero energy. We made one change. He swapped his mid-morning muffin for Greek yogurt, topped with raw almonds and chia. Within a month, his lab numbers improved and he told me, Doc, I feel like someone turned the lights back on. Here's the key, keep it clean. No honey roasted, no salted party mix. Raw or dry roasted, unsweetened, uncoated. And just 1 handful, not a bowl. Nuts are powerful, but calorie dense. You can add them to oatmeal, yogurt, or just keep a small jar on the counter as a daily reminder. 1 bite at a time. You're nourishing your body with ingredients your heart actually recognizes. Not synthetic supplements, not marketing tricks, just real food doing real work. And as your heart receives that nourishment, there's another habit even quieter, even simpler, that can heal from the inside out without a single bite. It starts not in your stomach, but in your lungs. If breath came in a bottle, it would be one of the most prescribed heart medications in the world. But because it's free, most people never use it. And I don't mean the shallow, anxious breaths we take when we're scrolling the news or rushing out the door. I mean deep, slow, intentional breathing. The kind that tells your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm grounded, I'm healing. Here's the science. Just 5 minutes of deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for rest, repair, and recovery. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows, blood vessels relax. Oxygen delivery improves, and all of it without touching a single pill. I'll never forget Ellen, 70 years old, retired librarian. She told me, Doc, I don't think I've felt truly calm in 15 years. We didn't start with meditation apps or therapy. We started with breath. The 4-4-6 method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4. Exhale slowly for 6. 5 minutes every morning before breakfast. Within 2 weeks, her sleep improved. Her digestion calmed. Her anxiety, the kind she thought was just part of getting older, began to lift. She called it her invisible medicine. And she was right. This isn't hype. Deep breathing is now a core part of many cardiac rehab programs, not because it's trendy, but because it works. It's one of the few things that soothes the mind and strengthens the heart at the same time. And once your body learns to slow down through breath, there's one more rhythm it desperately needs to protect your heart, not the rhythm of lungs or arteries, but the rhythm of your nights. We treat sleep like a luxury, something we squeeze in after everything else. But for your heart, sleep isn't rest, it's repair. It's when the real healing happens. Every night, while you drift off, your blood pressure dips, your heartbeat slows, and your body carries out essential maintenance, repairing vessel walls, reducing inflammation, balancing hormones. But if your sleep is broken, inconsistent, or shallow, that healing gets interrupted, and the damage starts to accumulate. I treated a man named Henry, 73. Ate well, walked every day, took his meds, but he felt tired all the time, had frequent morning headaches, and his blood pressure wouldn't budge. Turns out, his sleep routine was chaos some nights up till 1 a.m. The others asleep by 9, always falling asleep to the TV humming in the background. We didn't adjust his prescriptions. We adjusted his rhythm. No screens after 9. Lights out by 10:30. Cool. Quiet bedroom. Same wake-up time every day, even on weekends. 3 weeks later, his numbers dropped. His energy came back. And for the first time in years, he said, "I don't feel old anymore." Because sleep is not passive, it's not optional. It's the operating room your heart checks into each night, and without it, there is no recovery. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because over time, it does. And once your nights begin to heal your heart, there's still a danger that creeps in during the day, a quiet killer hiding behind a habit we think is harmless sitting. It feels harmless, comfortable, even relaxing. But the truth is, one of the most dangerous things you do for your heart is sit. That's right. Hours on the couch, at your desk, in front of the TV. It doesn't look like a threat, but to your circulation, your metabolism, and your arteries, it's slow, silent damage. When you sit too long, blood flow slows, muscles stop contracting, your lower body holds stagnant blood. Over time, this raises your risk of clots, stiffens arteries, increases inflammation, and quietly adds stress to your heart. One of my patients, Carol, 68 sharp, active, retired teacher, ended up in the ER with a blood clot in her leg. Not from a flight, not from injury. From binge watching a show 5 hours straight every night. She never stood up. The fix, a $10 kitchen timer. Every 30 minutes, she stood, stretched her arms, walked around the house for 2 minutes. That's it. Within 2 weeks, her leg pain was gone. Her resting heart rate dropped, and her energy came back. She didn't need a new diet. She needed motion. So here's my rule: never sit longer than 30 minutes without moving. Stand during commercials. Pace while you're on the phone. Roll your shoulders while reading. You don't have to sweat, just send a signal to your heart: I'm still here. I'm still moving. Because heart health isn't built in the gym, it's built in your choices between the workouts. In the quiet, ordinary moments where most people do nothing. And once your body is moving, even in small ways, it's time to ask, what are you fueling it with each morning? Because your first meal might just be your most powerful medicine. Breakfast isn't just fuel, it's a message. And what you choose to eat within the first hour of waking tells your heart what kind of day it's going to have. Skip it, and your blood sugar crashes. Grab something sugary or processed, and inflammation spikes. Either way, your heart ends up working harder, under stress, before your day even begins. I once treated a woman, 71, who believed skipping breakfast was helping her lose weight. In reality, it led to energy crashes, intense cravings, and rising blood pressure. The moment we switched her to a heart-smart breakfast, everything changed. Her mornings stabilized. Her medications worked better. Her cravings faded. She felt steady, not just physically, but emotionally. So what should breakfast look like? Think simple, whole, and fiber-rich. Oatmeal with blueberries and chia seeds. Whole grain toast with avocado. Greek yogurt with raw walnuts and a pinch of cinnamon. That's not trendy, that's science. Each of these ingredients helps reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and support vascular function. And don't underestimate cinnamon. Just a sprinkle can naturally improve insulin sensitivity, and your heart will feel the ripple effect all day long. Avoid the traps: sugary cereals, white bread, processed meat, syrupy coffee drinks. Your heart doesn't want a sugar rush. It wants steady, nourishing support. Because every bite you take is either building inflammation or reducing it. And before we reach the final habit, the one I believe could save the most lives, there's one last thing you must do before breakfast, before coffee, before anything else. It takes 2 minutes, and it could literally save your life. High blood pressure is called the silent killer for a reason, because it doesn't knock, it doesn't burn, it doesn't ache, it just waits, quietly, until it doesn't. I've seen patients walk into my office smiling, laughing, completely unaware that their heart was fighting a silent war behind the scenes. No dizziness, no chest pain, no shortness of breath, just numbers quietly rising, day by day, pushing them toward the edge. That's why I tell every patient over 60, check your blood pressure every morning, not once a week, not just at the doctor's office, every single morning, before breakfast, before coffee, before anything. Daniel, 66, was one of those healthy guys. Lean, active, still biking on weekends. I asked him to start checking his blood pressure for 2 weeks just as a precaution. He called me 3 days later. Shocked, his numbers were consistently in the 150s over 90s. That 2-minute habit allowed us to act before the warning signs hit, and that may have saved his life. Use a digital cuff. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before checking. Log your results in a notebook or app. Look for patterns: how sleep, salt, stress, or hydration affect your readings. Because blood pressure isn't just a number. It's your body's real-time report card. It's your early alarm system. And when you listen, really listen, your heart has a fighting chance. Now you've heard the habits, you've heard the stories, but this journey isn't about perfection. It's about something far more powerful: the decision to show up for your heart, one morning at a time. Your heart isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for consistency. It's asking for attention, for care, for presence. These 8 habits may seem small: a glass of water, a short walk, a handful of nuts, but together, they send a powerful message to your body. I'm still here. I still care. And believe me, after 60, that message matters more than ever. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. Start with one habit, just one. Then let it grow. Because when you show up for your heart day after day, it shows up for you. So here's what I want you to do. Save this video right now. Rewatch it tomorrow morning or the next time you need a reminder that your health is still in your hands. Leave a comment below and let me know which habit you're starting with. I read them. I really do. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel and tap the bell, every week I share clear, science-backed guidance to help you protect your heart, stay independent, and live longer with strength, clarity, and peace of mind. Because this isn't just about information. It's about transformation starting from the inside out. Thank you for being here. And until next time, take one deep breath and give your heart one small reason to keep beating strong.